Let's see. Are we live? We're live.
There we are.
23 minutes.
Why does that say 23 minutes? We posted it.
Oh, I guess I named the video 23 minutes ago.
Got it.
But we have not been live for 23 minutes.
No, we have not.
Let's see.
Do I need to press start?
No.
Start a watch party?
What if you want? I don't really know what that means, though. Probably should just not.
Will appear in my timeline so other people can join.
Huh.
All
Sounds
right.
perfect.
Yeah.
Let's see. Are we live? Oh, we better turn that down. Someone's watching, but it might be one of us.
It's probably me. Oh, hi, Judy. Thanks for joining us. You gotta remember to look up there.
Right.
All right.
Ooh, we have 4 people watching.
Excellent. Let us know that you're here and where you're watching from. That would be great. We'd appreciate that. Do we have a time anywhere? Oh, here. We at 6:30.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I'd say we start once there's maybe at least like 10 people in the room.
Sure.
Or we could give it a time.
Let's wait. Why don't we wait 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Because I like to honor people's time, right? Be responsible for our time and their time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any questions or anything before we begin, that could be something we can talk about before we start if you want to type anything into the comments.
Yeah. Hi, Leah. Thank you for joining us.
I can't see that.
Oh, sad face.
Maybe it's only if they're your friend and they join.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I can see that you are in it.
Yeah. As we learn how to use our technology, and we're just astounded by everything that's possible to see here.
We're already leaps and bounds past last week.
We are way leaps and bounds past last week. Cindy, thank you for joining us. Welcome. We're so excited to have everyone joining.
Ashley Dieter's watching. She's a green shirt.
Oh, hi, Ashley. Thank you for watching.
Hey, little Dieter, I love you.
All right. Well, we're waiting for 6:32 to click over, and then we're going to go ahead and get started, and people can join in and maybe catch up. Oh, Ashley, thank you for joining us. So excited to have you on.
Now we have 2 Ashleys.
We do. Yay. Oh, there's the other one. All right. So it is 6:32. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Dr. Robin Lawrence. I am the owner and main doctor here at Get Well Family Chiropractic in Florissant, Missouri. I've been in practice coming up on 24 years. And I got to tell you, it's never been a better time to be a chiropractor. I absolutely love being a chiropractor. Can't imagine being or doing anything else. And sharing this information with you all tonight is absolutely critical to the world that we live in. And my partner, Dr. Sarah Ponica, who will be graduating soon.
Yes.
Yay!
Graduating next month in spirit. Maybe not in person, but
right. Yes.
I'll be graduating nonetheless. And
Absolutely.
I'll be a chiropractor just like Dr. Robin.
Yay! Exactly. So this is our second Facebook Live class. And we're learning how to get it all down and make it work. And these will be continuing in the weeks to come. So make sure you're keeping an eye on our Facebook page, our Instagram page, LinkedIn, Twitter, right? You can find us everywhere pretty much. And let's get started unless there's anything else you wanted to add to the welcome.
No?
No?
Sounds
Awesome.
good.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so What exactly is your immune system? You know, a lot of people don't quite understand how complex the network of cells and organs are that defend our bodies against infection. The main parts of the immune system, right, are our white blood cells. A lot of people know or have heard of those, right, because we take blood and we count our white blood cells. There's things called antibodies. There is a thing called a complement cascade, which is a series of chemical reactions that help defend us. Your lymphatic system, right? You know, sometimes when you get allergies or a cold, you get swollen lymph nodes. They're throughout the entire body. Our spleen, right, is a little organ on the left side of our body. It's responsible for recycling old red blood cells and taking their parts and put some of them back into circulation, back to the bone marrow to make new red blood cells, and the rest of it just gets eliminated. Obviously, our bone marrow, I just mentioned, and then our thymus, right? Is it a gland right here behind our chest bone? And you can stimulate it, right? If you're feeling a little weak or tired, you can just kind of rub on your chest bone a little bit just to help stimulate that thymus. Now, your immune system, I almost said your nervous system because I'm a chiropractor, right? Your immune system really is a silent defender, right? We can hear our heartbeat. We can hear our tummy gurgle sometimes. However, we really never hear our immune system. And even though we are not aware of it, it is working 24 hours, 7 days a week, protecting us from thousands of potentially deadly attacks every single day. So let's really examine the different lines of defense used by the immune system to protect us. So our first line of defense, right, is what we call innate immunity. This is a range of protective mechanisms that we're born with. The innate immune system, right, it provides kind of non-specific protection against various pathogens. So things like viruses, bacteria, protozoans, which are parasites, right, single cell buggers, and worms. And there's a number of different defense mechanisms within this innate immune system. It includes like physical barriers, right, like our skin, right, and we have chemical barriers that are antimicrobial, right, meaning they kill microbes, proteins, and then there's cells that also attack the foreign cells, right? And the body's cells harboring those infectious agents. So before we go on, though, to the second line of defense, which Dr. Sarah is going to tell you all about, let's delve a little deeper into the defense mechanism of innate immunity. So the skin is an external barrier, right, that is made from many layers of cells. And it protects us from infection, right? And not only does it protect us, though, it actually keeps foreign invaders out because it secretes a fatty acid and enzymes. One of the fatty acids that it secretes is called oleic acid, and it will kill certain bacteria. And then one of the enzymes that it excretes is called lysozyme. And lysozyme actually can break down the outer cell wall of different bacteria. So that's on the outside. And now on the inside, we also have, right, our mucosal membranes, right, inside our sinuses, inside our lungs, inside our gastrointestinal tract, even in our genitourinary tract. We have these mucosal linings that have cells that are protection against those little buggers passing through. And those linings are constantly renewed. Thank you. So another crucial aspect. Oh, and you guys, if I'm going too fast, make sure you say something and I will definitely slow down because I know I can talk kind of fast. So another crucial aspect of innate immunity is the chemical barriers to infection. So when microbes penetrate the body's protective barriers, right, our skin and our mucosal membranes, and they enter into our tissues, they encounter a number of chemical substances that attempt to prevent their growth. So think of like germicides and pesticides, right? That those non-organic farmers and gardeners use, but inside our bodies. And they really go to work and they destroy and do harm and weaken those invaders. the process really kind of goes beyond the scope of what we wanted to discuss here tonight. I just want you to know that continually keeping healthy mucosal membranes is really one of the best ways to ward off those foreign invaders that are ready to strike at any time. Early induced responses, right, is the final response of our innate immunity that we're going to really touch on today. So many of you are familiar with this response, but you probably haven't heard of it called as an early induced response before, right? We all know it as inflammation. Now, believe it or not, inflammation is a healthy response when infection is present, right? Because it eliminates the infection or it keeps it in check until acquired immune responses can have time to develop. So what this looks like inside your body is, redness, some swelling, a fever is your body's innate response to an infection. So when we take things to reduce our fever, we're actually reducing our body's immune system's ability to kill and fight that infection. So I get it, right? Fevers are uncomfortable, right, Dr. Sarah? They're just awful. We don't feel good when we have a fever. However, it's one of the best things that you can do is just to let that fever run as best as possible.
Do its job.
And let it do its job. People say, oh, I've got a high fever. It's 101. Well, not really. High fevers for me, 104, 105, maybe go get some help, 106, 107. But if you can tolerate 102, 103, go for it. Other signs of inflammation include pain, right? And redness. Now, the problem becomes when the immune system, but when that inflammation stays, it sticks around, it becomes chronic. That's when we end up with the chronic diseases. So an acute inflammatory response is totally healthy and appropriate. We just don't want it to stick around.
All right, so now we're going to move on to the second line of defense, and this is what we call the acquired immunity. So we use the word acquired because you're not born with this kind of immunity, and it is acquired through exposure to pathogens that you are not just born with. This line of defense can be acquired from either exposure to an infection or disease or from another person's antibodies. So it is well established that people who contract certain diseases and survive normally don't get those illnesses again.
Like chickenpox.
Yep, we see that with chickenpox and other diseases like that. And this is possible through the mechanisms of acquired immunity. So when your immune system is exposed to a pathogen, it learns to recognize that particular pathogen, and it can make your immune system better equipped to fight off that type of germ the next time you're exposed to it. And this acquired immunity is dependent on a special type of white blood cells, which we call lymphocytes. There's a whole bunch of different kinds of white blood cells. I think there's 5 that we learned about in our microbiology class, but we're going to talk about
microbiology.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago.
We're going to talk about lymphocytes tonight. So these are the cells that are responsible for the body's ability to distinguish and react to an almost infinite number of different foreign substances. So that was kind of a mouthful, but we're going to go into a little bit more about the lymphocytes.
Hang tight. We got you covered.
So lymphocytes come from stem cells in the bone marrow, and they can travel and multiply in response to the appropriate stimulation. So if you've heard the terms T cells or B cells, these are different kinds of lymphocytes. And the T cells and B cells both recognize and help eliminate foreign molecules, but they do this in different ways. And if I'm not mistaken, they're made in the thymus.
Yes, the thymus, right, creates those T cells.
Okay. So lymphocytes are also distinguished from other cells because they are able to recognize foreign molecules by means of receptor molecules. So on the surface of the lymphocyte, we have a receptor molecule, and it's a special protein whose shape is designed to fit a foreign molecule. So you can think of the receptor molecule on the lymphocyte as a lock, and then the foreign substances that come in are the key that goes into that lock. So when the lock and key come together, they make what we call an antigen, which is able to cause our immune responses, which we talked about before. And so every foreign substance out there is its own key, and the lymphocytes have to have the proper receptor for it to be able to fit perfectly in.
Exactly. This is one of my favorites.
So one of the many incredible abilities of the immune system is that it keeps a record of every microbe it has ever defeated. And this enables...
Did battle.
So this helps the immune system to be able to recognize and destroy the microbe quickly if it enters the body again, so it won't multiply and make you feel sick. But some infections, like what we call the flu, the common cold, they have to be fought off many different times because there's so many different viruses or strains of the same type of virus that can cause these flus, these colds, and give you the same symptoms. So catching a cold or flu from one virus does not give you complete immunity against the other kinds of viruses.
Right. Yeah, and I'm gonna interject just a little bit here too, which is why the flu vaccine year to year is so ineffective, right? Because they base it on certain strains, but these cold and flu viruses mutate constantly. So you never know which one you've come into contact with. And then all of the other ingredients that, that we could talk about on a whole nother Facebook Live, if that was something people were interested in. But we'll stop with that.
All right. So how do we acquire immunity?
So glad they asked.
The things that we're exposed to in our lives, those are what dictates our acquired immunity. So the area that we live in, vaccinations that people might have gotten at birth, and then exposure to different environmental conditions, all of these things impact our ability to fight off various diseases. So if you've ever, for example, experienced allergies when you're visiting a certain place for the first time, this is due to the exposure of something that your system isn't already familiar with. And then let's say the next time you visit, you might not have that same reaction. You can thank acquired immunity for this.
Mm-hmm. So because we're all exposed to different pathogens, we all have this unique immune defense system, right? This means immune systems are different from person to person. So while we all have similar innate responses, right, such as our skin barrier, our acquired immunity can be vastly different. In fact, recent studies have found that our history and our environment, like where we live or even whom we live with, are responsible for 60 to 80% of the differences between individual immune systems. And genetics, accounts for the rest of it. Now, one of the things that we also want to talk about in this Facebook Live tonight is overactive immune systems, right? So when they're overactive, a number of diseases or conditions, including allergies, can happen, right? And autoimmune diseases, this is an overactive immune system, right? Allergies to foods, medications, hay fever, sinus, asthma, right? Hives, dermatitis, eczema, all of those are allergy type of overreaction immune system things. So autoimmune diseases, however, are when, the immune system mounts this response, right, to normal healthy tissue. Things like autoimmune thyroid issues, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, diabetes type 1 are all autoimmune things that result from an overactive immune system, right? And, they really don't know what causes this overreactive immune system, although we as chiropractors, we have a thought that, the nervous system controls everything in the body. So we might be able to trace some of it back to that for sure. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum from that, we have this thing called an underactive immune system, right? Also known as immunodeficiency. In the news right now, we're hearing about immunocompromised people, right? We want to make sure that we're protecting our immune compromised people. So this is the same thing, just different terminology. So, it can be so life-threatening sometimes in severe cases. Immune deficiency can be inherited, right? Or it can result from medical treatment, medications that you're on. You see at the bottom of the commercials, right? You might be more susceptible to infection if you take this. This would be an immune compromising or immunodeficiency caused by medication, but other diseases too, like HIV and AIDS, and certain types of cancers can cause this. Now, we're hearing a lot about these immunodeficiencies, right, lately with the spread of the COVID-19. So it's really important that these at-risk people, you stay isolated as much as possible, because you're so much more vulnerable to infection. Just calling in and checking on the places that you have to go, right? We've had several patients call and say, hey, I'm immune compromised. Can I still come in and get my adjustment because I know it's going to help? Mm-hmm. And we're like, absolutely. We've got appointments spread apart. We're doing social distancing. We're cleaning and sanitizing between every patient. So, I had a conversation earlier today with a patient. I'm like, you're safer coming in here than you are going to the grocery store. Yeah, so absolutely. By all means, call and make your appointments. All right.
So what can we do to protect our immune systems and protect ourselves? So now that you have a more in-depth understanding of the immune system and how it works to protect us, let's take a look at some ways to strengthen our immune system. So the ability to boost our immune function is complex and is continually under a lot of studies. Yeah. And this is because the immune system is a system. It requires balance and harmony among all of its parts, and the interconnectedness of the immune system is very complex. So let's take a look at the effects of lifestyle being researched to give your immune system a boost. So your first defense is to live a healthy lifestyle. Not only will your immune system benefit, but every part of your body will function better by following the following tips. Don't smoke.
Duh. Are there people out there that still do?
I hope not. Eat a diet high in fruits and vegetables. Get all your vitamins, minerals. Mm-hmm. Exercise regularly. Maintain a healthy weight. If you drink alcohol, try to drink only in moderation. Get adequate sleep. Take steps to avoid infections, such as washing your hands frequently. And we've heard a lot about that lately, for sure. And then try to minimize stress. And so in this time of extra caution in our world, other tips that we could add in, which we've been hearing about every day in the last couple of months, would include making sure that every time we wash our hands, we do it for at least 20 seconds. So I've heard, different songs that you can sing to count up to 20 seconds. And I think Happy Birthday twice in a row makes about 20 seconds. Because I tried to sing it once and it was way less than 20 seconds.
Interesting.
And then also just try to do everything you can to not touch your face unless the last thing that you touched was either soap and water or hand sanitizer. Right. Because anything that we're touching out in the world right now, in the grocery store or, wherever you might go, you never know who else has touched it. And
we've been teasing everybody in the office. They're filthy humans.
Yep.
And in the hand sanitizer world, a lot of people are really having a hard time finding the alcohol-based hand sanitizers. And, there's lots of DIY recipes out there. Also there's a really special water that is available. And if you want more information about, how to sanitize everything with just water and no chemicals, if you're living a chemical-free life, message me and I'll get you hooked up with some information on that. And of course, as chiropractors, what do you got to get? Adjustments. Absolutely. There's been several studies that have shown that getting an adjustment will boost the function of your immune system by up to 200% for up to a week. So definitely getting adjusted regularly will for sure help.
And it feels great.
It does, doesn't it? In fact, we got adjusted today.
We did. All right, so now take a look at diet. It has been well established that people who are malnourished are more vulnerable to infectious diseases. A large group of individuals who are susceptible to micronutrient malnutrition is going to be the elderly. So this is because older people tend to eat less and often have less variety in their diets.
Mm-hmm.
Micronutrient deficiencies, for example, in the minerals, we have deficiencies of zinc, selenium, iron, copper, and then we have folic acid, and vitamins A, B6, C, and E. Deficiencies in all of those can alter immune responses.
Yeah, vitamin D is a real big one too. You want to make sure your vitamin D levels are adequate.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and share that list in the comments a little later, because those are some things you're definitely going to want in your diet at least, and if not, then in your supplements. So I think we all are feeling a little bit of this lately. So chronic stress is very common in today's society, especially in the last couple of months. Fear of the unknown, grief over our old daily routines not being what they used to be, financial burdens, and anxiety all contribute to chronic stress. And when we experience this stress, certain hormones are released in our body. This is helpful when we're in danger and need to flee to safety.
Right?
Run away from the bear.
Yep.
But when we stay under constant stress, these hormones are present throughout the whole day, and that is not a good thing. The result of this chronic stress leads to a never-ending list of diseases and illnesses. And this ranges from depression to even heart attacks. So during times of stress, the immune system might also be inhibited. So regularly participating in stress-reducing activities is not only beneficial to overall health, but to general immunity as well. And we just started April.
We did.
Yesterday.
Yes.
And April is actually Stress Awareness Month.
Woo!
So I would challenge all of you to set aside a few minutes of every day to try out an activity that can lower your stress. So there's a big range of activities that we can do to reduce our stress.
So many.
You can try meditation, yoga, exercise, spending a little quality time out in nature, or listening to relaxing music.
One of my favorite music is on YouTube. You can actually go and search in the search bar specific hertz frequencies that will train the brain waves down out of that angry stress mode into a calming, relaxing mode. So 528 hertz and 432 hertz are some of our favorites. And there's so many to choose from. So just go and check that out. Earbuds are best, 20 minutes a day. You can kind of use it as your meditation time or your prayer time. Is a really great way to do it. You'll be surprised how fast that makes you feel like amazing. Sometimes I even just let it play all night long while I'm sleeping. So regularly participating in these stress-reducing activities will not only benefit your overall health, but also your general immunity. Okay, so, all right, guys, we have covered a ton of information, right? And we really hope that you have learned some new information, that it's been valuable and really worth your time, right? And your immune system is one of the most important systems of your entire body. So if you have any questions, right, feel free to type them in the comments below, right? We can answer them right here. We can answer them later in the comments after class too. And, I just really want to thank you all. Right? You could have chose so many different things to do during this time, and you chose to hang out with us. And we truly appreciate that. Our purpose and our mission is to be a beacon of light and hope for this community in these really stressful, hard times. And, this is one of our ways of reaching out and doing that. So thank you again, really, for being a part of this with us. Yeah.
So if you're interested in any of the resources that went into making this class, and if you just want, the list of links sent to you, we can definitely arrange that.
Yeah, just reach out and let us know that you'd like that. All right. Again, and thank you so much. This topic of immunity is really vital to our health, and it's so vital to what we're living through right now. And and the more that we know about how our body works, the better that we are going to be equipped to defend ourselves from any kind of disease. Sorry, Dr. Sarah, I didn't mean to poke you there. All right, so now it's your turn. Let us know.
We have a question from an Alex Welker. That's Emily's boyfriend.
Okay.
He says, what is the best system, immune or lymphatic? And he's sometimes like a troll.
Gotcha. So, Alex, I would love to answer your question, but I need to understand more about what you're saying. Oh, never mind. I get it now. Which is the better system? Because I said the immune system was one of the most important ones. Honestly, your immune system is more important than your lymphatic system, but your nervous system is the master controller. So I'm going to go with nervous system.
Nervous system is the best.
Then your immune system. Yeah. Thanks, Alex, for playing along. All right. Anybody else? Questions? Comments? Concerns?
So if you guys do have any questions after the fact, we can type our answers down.
Absolutely. We'd be happy to. Is there...
That's it.
That's it? Oh, you've already got up there. I just want to say thank you so much. Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. All right, guys, that's all we've got tonight. Thank you for joining us. We love you very much, right? Elbow bumps, air hugs, and we'll see you soon. Next week. Oh, so same bat time, same bat channel, right, on Thursday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. So Wednesday at 6:30, we're actually going to be discussing It's All Connected. Right? How the nervous system connects to everything that happens in the body. So you want to make sure you watch out for that and register. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks again, guys. Bye.